Jacob Bass. I'm the unit director for Supervised Independent Living. Basically what we do is we take 18 to 21-year-old kids that have aged out of foster care, and they come to one of 3 shared housing that we have. We have single mothers, guys and girls, and when they get there, we have a house mentor that lives at one of those houses, and they help them with getting their groceries, cooking, cleaning things around the house, and then we have a case manager that helps them with their plans long-term, getting a budget, bank account, medical, dental, all that stuff, and then we'll teach them how to drive and help them get a car, insurance, all the things that you can think of that you need to know to be an adult is what we work on. And then long-term, we have apartments that they can move to, so it's kind of a step approach to independence. This program is really a response to some bad statistics that we've had historically with kids that have aged out of foster care. So when you talk about kids that have aged out, that means that they didn't get to get placed with their family or get adopted. And so we basically were just saying when they were 18, you're 18, go figure it out. And so over half of them we found out were homeless at one point, they didn't have a job, they didn't finish high school. And so this program is focusing on trying to change that and have better outcomes in the long run. One of the best parts about this program and this age group is that you get to see them go through major stages in their life, and we get to be right there with them, alongside them. And when you're working with younger kids, you don't necessarily get to see progress all the time. And so one of the coolest parts is that we're there when they come out and they pass their driver's license test and they're excited, or they get a new car, or they're getting a new job, or they're going to school or college or whatever. So I think just being in partnership, I guess, with them and being a part of that has been really special. So we were one of the first programs, one of a handful in the state to offer this program. So we've been doing it for about 5 years. There's more programs now in the state than there were, but at one time it was just a handful of us that were doing it. And so it was kind of a children's home long-term plan to provide more services and be there for our kids as much as we can. But in general, this is a pretty new program still for foster care in the state as a whole. First, the kid would have to have aged out of foster care. And so if that's the case, they would reach out to either us, like we can obviously help them through that application process, but it goes through St. Francis first, and then they apply for that. And then we get their application, we do an interview with them, make sure that they're ready for this step, that it's a good fit for us. And then once we get through that, we look at placement and doing all of that. I think the long-term impact is the most significant. So we focus most of our time on dealing and caring for our kids when they're kids. But we also want to make sure that long-term they can be successful and productive adults. And if we're not doing that, then we're not really taking care of them as a whole for their whole life. And so I think making it an approach for long-term as well is something that we need to focus on, so that we're not just doing what we can and then they're worse off than they were. And so I think that's why it's most important.